Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron, New Life Pentecostal Church, Albany, Georgia. Glad you're here with us. Thanks for stopping by. I was going to do a couple of points from a Gail Riplinger article that I got off the KJV study website. What is it? KJVBibles.com or something like that. It's where you go buy KJV Bibles anyhow. And it's also good. You know, she does a great amount of research. Now, I know a lot of you don't like her. A lot of different groups have come against her and kind of, you know, come against your mind. And a lot of you don't like her writing style. And I can understand that totally. And I don't agree with everything she says either. But one thing I've learned is she brings a lot of research and unique research to bear on things. So we're in this article, I think it's 10 pages, and it's on my email. So I think I must have emailed it to myself or something, or maybe she sends emails every so often. So we're in Ezekiel 47:3. Now what's fascinating about this, she's going into the differences between Oxford Bibles, Cambridge Bibles, Windsor text, Cambridge Bibles, Concord text, Cambridge Bibles, the large print text, and then what's known as a standard text Cambridge Bible, and the PCE, which is a pure Cambridge edition. And so we stopped last time in the middle of some examples. So we're at Ezekiel 47:3. This is from her article. Again, thanks for stopping by. It says ankles with a K is in the Concord and Windsor text. Now this is really important because the TBS has always done the large print in their family Bible, and I've set my other, here it is, and they've just gone to a Windsor text family Bible. So, I mean, it makes some material differences. Now, when I say material difference, ankle is just spelling. It doesn't make any difference to the meaning. But it is fascinating to nerds, and like myself. And so ankles, A-N-C-L-E-S. The PCE, which is a pure Cambridge edition, all other Cambridge editions, except the standard text. Now, one thing in this 10-page article, and I've picked up, it's kind of a condensation of a longer article, is I never got really understanding of what the standard Cambridge text is. And I think it may be like if you say you want to use a Cambridge text to print a Bible, this is just a standard text they push out to you. That's the only thing I can figure. Ezra 6:4, expenses is in the Concord and Windsor, and expenses with a C towards the end is in the PCE and all other Cambridge editions except the standard text. So a few slight textual varieties exist among the Cambridge editions. She's also got an 1819 Cambridge she looks at. Run to a variety of Greek and Hebrew editions, and you will find few, if any, definitive answers. Okay, so just a few more examples like this. Exodus 23:23, the Hivites. Now that was found in the King James 1612, the 1613, the Concord and Windsor, and the Hivites. It adds the word "and" in the 1616 KJV, 1629 Cambridge, the 1638, the PCE, and all other Cambridge text except the standard. 2 Samuel 18:29 is Concord and Windsor, and is being italics is in the PCE and all other Cambridge text except the standard. All right, so Ezra 2:16, Gabba, this is one of the more famous ones, Concord and Windsor text. Concord, a lot of people like the Concord. And Geba, G-E-B-A, PCE, all other Cambridge text except the standard. A few variants in punctuation exist in the Cambridge family. For example, Jeremiah 32:5 has prosper, period, Concord, Windsor. Prosper, question mark, is in the PCE and all other Cambridge text except the standard. So I'm wondering if the standard is just Concord and Windsor. I don't know. Mark 2:1 has Capernaum after Concord, Windsor, and Capernaum, comma, after is in the PCE and all other Cambridge texts except the Standard. 1 Corinthians 15:27 has saith all, Concord, Windsor, and saith, comma, all, PC, and all other Cambridge texts except the Standard. And then she's got this extraordinarily helpful chart. And I'm going to try my best to read some stuff from this chart. So the chart below shows Cambridge variants and compares them to settings done when the KJV translators were still alive. This tiny example leaves the reader with more questions than when he began. No one setting seems to rise to the top, but remember these tiny variants, and this is an important point, can be multiplied by the scores when in Oxford, Nelson, Hendricks, and Holman or Zondervan edition he's examined. I've found enough nonsensical and original orthography in the Nelson, Hendricks, and Holman and Zondervan settings to fill a thick file folder, not a small chart. So, this is an example. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So let's go through them really quick. So Genesis 24:57, etc. In 1611, the inquire was spelled with an E at the beginning. Inquire. Cambridge 1616, same. Cambridge 1629, same. Cambridge 1638. And so in all these cases, the King James translators went and tried to fix the publisher's errors in the 1611 and she went into last time how the meticulous publisher's error. Then the PCE has inquire with an I, kind of how we spell it now. Cambridge TBS large print text only, inquire with an I. But the Concord is with an E. Okay, Exodus 23:23, the Hivites is in the 1611 King James. The 1616 Cambridge is and the Hivites, as is the 1629, as is the 1638, as is the PCE, as is the Cambridge TBS large print, but the Concord goes all the way back to the 1611 and does the Hivites. And the Cambridge 1819 is represented by the asterisk, has a mix of Cambridge readings, so that's kind of interesting. Okay, so number 65, etc., spells razor with an S, R-A-S-O-R, as does the 1616 Cambridge, the 1629 Cambridge, the 1638 Cambridge. And again, I've done some videos in times past on how, Ward and can't think of the other guy's name, did some updates, again, helping the orthography. Okay, the PCE, Pure Cambridge Edition, has razor, razor, razor in the Cambridge TBS large print text only, but the Concord spells it the way we do modern day razor with a Z. 2 Samuel 18:29 is the, and then that's the 1611, 1616, 1629, 1638 Cambridge. The PCE seemingly has is in italics, as does the Cambridge large print text only, and but it looks like the Cambridge Concord goes back to the 1611. Ezra 226, Gaba, G-A-B-A, 1611, 1616, 1629, 1638. The PCE, done by Vauchur, or it's really not done by Vauchur, it's like a 1900 edition Cambridge, has Giba. So does the Cambridge TBS large print text only, Giba. The Concord goes back to Gaba. Ezra 6:4, etc. Expenses with a C, as does the 1616. But here we have a change. The 1629 has expenses with an S-E-S at the end, as does the 1638. The PCE goes back to the 1611, C-E-S at the end of expenses, as does the Cambridge TBS large print text only, but the Cambridge Concord has an S. Now again, none of this has any effect on the meaning at all. Isaiah 9:6, Counselor. It's Counselor with two L's. Counselor. And this is universal till you get to the Cambridge Concord, and then it is counselor instead of Counseller. It is Councellor. So the only difference is the Cambridge Concord with a C instead of an S. Again, no difference in meaning at all. Jeremiah 32:5. You can see the meticulousness of her scholarship. Prosper, period, is in the 1611 and the 1616. But then question mark, 1629, prosper question mark, 1638, PCE, Cambridge TBS, large print text only, which I love. And then the Cambridge Concord goes back to the 1611, 1616 with prosper, period. You have ankles with a C, 1611, 1616. Some would say cankles. No, I'm just joking. And then Cambridge 1629, ankles the way we spell it today with a K, 1638, PCE, Cambridge large print, and the Cambridge Concord, all with ankles the way we have it today. Mark 2:1, Capernaum after, and that is universal in all of them, except the Cambridge TBS and the large print text only. It's Capernaum, comma, after, and also the PCE, Capernaum, comma. Oh, I'm misreading that. The 1638 has the comma. The 1629 has the comma. The 1616, 1611 does not have the comma. And the Cambridge Concord does not have the comma. It goes back to the original King James. Acts 11:12, Spirit, capitalized or not. A lot of you PCE fans are big on this. In the original 1611, it was not capitalized. There was some fluctuation. She goes into the Germanic and how sometimes it's capitalized, sometimes it's not. 1616, it was capitalized. 1629, capitalized. 1638, capitalized. PCE, not capitalized. Cambridge TBS, large print text only, not capitalized. Cambridge Concord, capitalized. Acts 11:28, Spirit, 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 Spirit. In all of them, not capitalized until you get to the Cambridge Concord, and it is capitalized. Romans 4:18, nations with a hyphen. No, a colon. A colon. Nations with a colon. That's 1611, 16. Then we come to 1629, it's a semicolon. Cambridge 16, somebody said they had part of their colon removed. They now have a semicolon. That's just a joke among somebody who said that. I'm not making fun of anybody that had that happen, because that would be a terrible thing. PCE, semicolon. Cambridge TBS, large print text only, semicolon. Now, then we get to the Cambridge Concord, and it's neither colon or semicolon. It is comma. How about that? 1 Corinthians 15:27, saith all, is in 1611, 16, 1629, 1638. Then you get to the PCE, saith, comma, all. Cambridge TBS, large print text only, saith, comma, all. And then the Concord goes all the way back. Now, a lot of people say that the large print text only is the most accurate edition of the Cambridge. I don't know. I've been fascinated by the number of people who've commented on the channel over the years who only use the 1611 and say the errors were allowed by God in the 1611, the typos, and that's the way it's supposed to read. There's actually churches out there that read like these Hendricks and Nelson. I just had a guy from Israel contacting me constantly on this. 1 John 5:8. I assume he's from Israel. He said he was. I don't know. 1 John 5:8 is another big one. Spirit is capitalized in 1611, as is 1616, but in 1629, not cap. 1638, not capped. PCE, not capped. Cambridge TBS, large print text only, it is capped, as in the Cambridge Concord. So let me just finish up this series here with this rather long paragraph. In the previous chart, I've marked in bold those renderings that seem weak or unique, perhaps, but are not necessarily wrong. Again, a more exhaustive timeline could in fact prove them correct. The question often remains unanswerable. Was there a typo in the 1611, or was it in the 16, 29, or 38? And she's got 1, 2, 3, 4 things she thinks possibly questionable in the Cambridge TBS large print. I find that interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4 things in the PCE, and 1, 2, 3, 4 things but different in the Cambridge Concord. The latter 3 being serious attempts by original translators themselves to address typos in the 1611. The PCE and Cambridge large print text only have 4 questionable readings. The Concord Windsor also has 4 questionable readings. This leaves neither a clear favorite from an orthographic view, although the large print and the PCE are definitely stronger in all 4 places where the Concord is marked in bold. The 8 differences, as stated early, cannot be hastily changed. Further research is needed to sort out these differences before anyone changes anything. If you attempt to make your own definitive decision from this tiny chart, you may make grave errors and will invariably become confused when someone makes another chart that throws sand into an unoiled machine. Both Cambridge, Oxford, and all printers have spots which all concerned admit are typos. Such places are not a part of the chart and the perennial discussion. For example, the actual typos in the Cambridge large print is the use of shekel for shekel in Nehemiah 10:32, and see, use of shekel for shekel, and shekel spelled the same way there, unless I'm missing something. And Lord God, tetragrammaton Elohim, for Lord lowercase except capital L, God, Jeremiah 49:5. Such typos are small compared to other settings. So I know it's tedious. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoy reading about it. This is my, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd time through it. I'm loving it. And you might just want to go get that article, Gail Riplinger, on the KJV store. So God bless you. Thanks for watching, and we'll try to finish this up. And sometimes how our videos get scheduled, you may be watching this last, so who knows. But hit subscribe, bell notification, put on social media. God bless you. I'll talk with you later in Jesus' name.